The Tower of Trials is a virtual reality game that was released with an absurd difficulty. After being released for 3 years, people realized the game was unbeatable. The 10th floor's Gate Guardian is invincible, and the floors below were nearly impossible to clear. This game isn't fun, it's torture for players. Afterward, the game started declining and almost went under. However, there was still a player who didn't give up challenging this impossible, difficult game and conquered the 50th floor, becoming the first person to have cleared the Tower of Trials. Jinhyuk couldn't believe he had cleared the last floor. He remembers how he felt accomplished after researching and practicing new ways to conquer the tower until it became second nature to him. That accomplishment was enough for him to spend 11 years of his life on it. Then, Jinhyuk ponders whether he should have streamed his fight but then think about uploading this onto the Nutuber. Then suddenly, the system display shows up, thanking him for playing and telling him a reboot update is planned to happen in 12 hours. This surprises Jinhyuk as the game wasn't profitable for them. Still, to Jinhyuk, even if this game gets a reboot update, he doesn't intend on playing this game anymore and plans on quitting his job as a streamer. Later, after taking off the VR headset, he starts his live stream and decides to tell his fans of his decision but then feels he should post an announcement about his quitting tomorrow. He thinks about uploading his Tower of Trials floor clearing video in the morning. Still, he then gets surprised seeing the news about the Tower of Trials becoming a reality. Suddenly, a system display appears in front of him and states that the Tower of Trials rebooted version, and the first update has been completed. Everyone must clear the next floor of the tower within 90 days, and if they fail, humanity will perish. Jinhyuk tries to calm down and thinks that if the Tower of Trials is real, he can't be here wasting time, so he rushes outside. At the same time, his heart is beating in excitement. Afterward, in the central city, there is chaos everywhere. Jinhyuk, on the other hand, rushes toward the underground central mall because, in the Korean server, this place was selected as the external zone. When he enters the external zone, the system display shows he is entering an event zone. Many other participants are there. They were all people who played the beginning of the Tower of Trials. There, a man named Lee Jong-soo approached Jinhyuk and asked him what floor he reached on the game and asked Jinhyuk to tell him some secrets as a former coworker. Seeing him, Jinhyuk has a vision of how he tricked many streamers into a slave contract. Their voices were silenced under his company's lawyer's powerful voice. Because of this, his friends left the gaming industry. Then Jong-soo tells him he knows that Jinhyuk is a great gamer and says he'll rewrite his contract so we can be on better terms. Hearing this, Jinhyuk gets angry and headbutts him while saying the world has changed. Jong-soo falls to the ground, and 2 of his teeth are broken. Suddenly, a massive tree grows out of the water fountain and is called the Mangrove of Greed. Then fruit started growing from the tree, with each of them able to raise the stats of the players. Jinhyuk thinks the fruit's abilities are great, but there's only 4 fruits in total. Suddenly, everyone starts rushing towards the tree while pushing others to get to the fruit first. Jong-soo gets mad at Jinhyuk and tells him if they had worked together, they both could have gained benefits, and now they won't get any fruits. Jinhyuk tells him to shut his mouth because now is not the time. After the participants break the 4 fruits, the tree's roots start attacking everyone, forcing them to leave. Jinhyuk and Jong-soo are only left, and Jinhyuk tells him that the real prize of this event can only be obtained after all the fruits are eaten. Jong-soo thinks it's a good opportunity and asks Jinhyuk for the plan. Jinhyuk tells him they must charge from opposite sides simultaneously, and if one of them hesitates, they'll both die. Jong-soo assures him and tells him he's ready. Then Jinhyuk runs toward the mangrove tree, but when he sees behind him, Jong-soo is still standing at the same spot and tells him he doesn't trust his words and Jinhyuk should just be bait. Meanwhile, Jinhyuk smiles and is glad that Jong-soo hasn't changed because the one who is bait is the person standing further away. The roots suddenly head toward Jong-soo and tightly hold him, killing Jong-soo while he is still begging for help. After that, the roots attack Jinhyuk while he dodges some and deflects others, which helps him harm the tree with its own powers, revealing the core of the mangrove. The process was effortless for him because it was the same as what he experienced in the game. As this is the event mob, it doesn't even give experience, and all it does is give the person a spot in the Hall of Fame at best. Meanwhile, Jinhyuk is not afraid or scared of the tree because it's something he has dealt in the game before. Then, when he gets close to the tree trunk, monsters called sleep butterflies appear. They spread sleeping powder as a defense, but it's easy to stop them. Jinhyuk just needs to hold his breath. Jinhyuk arrives where the mangrove core is located and takes it out. The system display appears, telling him he is the first to defeat the Mangrove of Greed. Jinhyuk is amazed at how his extensive pattern and timing research would help him this way, and feels thankful for everything he has done so far. The system tells him his achievements will be recorded in the Hall of Fame and requests his name. Jinhyuk doesn't want to share his personal information, so he requests confidentiality. The system sets his name as unknown, his face will be blurred, and his voice will be changed. After that, Jinhyuk takes out the tree orb from the truck, which can give 12 bonus stats. Jinhyuk finds nothing more cost-effective on all 50 floors, and with this orb, he becomes the strongest level 1 player. 1 hour later, the system uploaded the video of Jinhyuk fighting with the mangrove of greed. The chat exploded, leaving everyone amazed. Meanwhile, on Jinhyuk's main account, he gets multiple proposals offering him billions of won to join their organization. To Jinhyuk, every day was a struggle for him to live. If he had gotten these offers yesterday, he would have accepted them in a heartbeat. Still, now he doesn't plan to share his knowledge for 1 or even 10 billion won because the most important thing right now is information monopoly. The moment the game updated, the leaking mana from the Tower of Trials spread throughout Seoul City. It didn't have a significant effect, but there was one big change. The artifacts outside of the tower became replicas of holy artifacts. But of course, they were fake, since the artifacts of legends were within the tower. So Jinhyuk arrived at the National Museum of Korea because it was a treasure trove with countless artifacts. He notices a burned corpse on the floor when he arrives and thinks someone has already arrived before him. Jinhyuk is surprised at how quickly people become bold. He guesses they're here to get the Great Map of the East Land, which contains information about the first 10 floors of the Tower of Trials. That's why everyone wants it. Meanwhile, inside the museum, there is chaos as everyone fights to get artifacts. Then a bulky guy arrives and tells them not to move, or he'll kill them, showing his ability which intimidates everyone except old men and the women behind him. The old man uses his fire magic, burns the bulky men, and goes upstairs while telling the woman named Lee Yuri to guard the area until he returns. Afterward, Jinhyuk arrives, seeing that the girl is blocking his way with her artifact. He picks up an artifact that was fallen to the floor. Watching Jinhyuk move freely, Lee Yuri gets mad and uses her artifact to attack him. Jinhyuk, having observed the attack coming toward him, deflected it with ease, surprising everyone around. After seeing her unsuccessful attack, Lee Yuri uses 3 more artifacts to attack Jinhyuk. Noticing this, Jinhyuk used the artifact he had picked up earlier, which caused a massive tiger to appear and destroy all of the other artifacts that Lee Yuri had been using with ease. She falls to her knees from the shock of losing to someone, and Jinhyuk comes up to her and asks for the mask of Tutankhamun. She tries to ask him a question, then Jinhyuk calls the tiger and she gives him the artifact out of fear. Jinhyuk then tells his tiger artifact to guard this area so nobody can follow him. Upstairs, the old man is surprised about how Jinhyuk got past Lee Yuri. Jinhyuk, on the other hand, tells him that the 1-star rank barrier is blocking them. He tells him he has a way to open it. The old men need to constantly use his flame magic on the barrier until he goes inside and returns with all the necessary relics. Jinhyuk says it's their only way. Otherwise, they had to go back empty-handed, and he also told him he would let him keep the map. The old man is convinced by Jinhyuk and agrees to his terms. The old man uses his flame magic on the barrier, and Jinhyuk gets inside. There, he sees all the artifacts except the iron sword with Qianlong's inscription. Jinhyuk thinks of a guy who could have taken the sword and used the barrier to block the entrance. Jinhyuk finds the other relics needed to make one of the Tower of Trials' strongest artifacts. After combining all the relics, he gets the Eye of Truth, an SS rank relic that lets him see others' status windows and can tell who is lying. After that, his main reason for coming here appears before him. The system displays a hidden quest completed, and he has met the requirements and has acquired the inherent ability of fusion over rank. This allows him to copy and store the numerous abilities in this world to combine them to create a stronger skill. But Jinhyuk first must complete the conditions for copying a skill. Jinhyuk then sees the copy condition for the old man's skill to make him angry. Seeing the condition, Jinhyuk smiles. So Jinhyuk tells him there was no need for him to use his flame skill the whole time. Jinhyuk disables the barrier with Latin dispelling magic which he had learned after entering the tower. He then burns the map in front of the old man, making him angry. The system display appears the condition has been met, and he successfully copied the element of Fire B grade. Jinhyuk uses a new fire skill whose power exceeds the old man's and tells him to listen to him. Before leaving, he tells the old man and Lee Yuri he'll contact them soon and thinks of using them as his pawns. Later, while eating, he sees news about similar events in museums worldwide. He notices his museum fight video with Lee Yuri. However, system interference blurred his face. After that, Han Sangjin, chairman of the Awakened Association, tells them he's here to recruit them and, depending on their rank, the person will be given at least 60 million won and 7th class government benefits. He also refers to the person in the videos and tells him he's an exception and promises him government support if he joins. Jinhyuk, on the other hand, doesn't think much about the offer. He thinks they will just treat him like a tool. Later at 7 p.m., the Tower of Trials opened and Jinhyuk had already entered the tower. By then, the system displayed, as a celebration for entering the tower, they were provided with 100 coins. Coins are the currency that can be used within the tower. Players can upload videos that record their accomplishments, and earn 100 coins for every 10,000 views. However, there will be a premium charge based on the player's status. all players within the tower watching videos will only have their first 10,000 views. The live broadcast function can only be used when dealing with the boss to go to the next level. If one is manipulating view counts or using other forms of cheating, there will be adequate punishment. Seeing this, everyone starts running to find opportunities in the tower and make videos to earn coins. On the other hand, Jinhyuk doesn't have any intentions of uploading a video first. Jinhyuk then had a vision of the past when he was clearing the lower 30 levels of the tower. There was a time when he couldn't proceed any further. To go to the next level, he needed to look for hidden pieces within the lower levels. In the end, he could find the solution in an abandoned ruin, and found out the fact that his character was flawed from the start. So there, he deleted his character and started again. Jinhyuk then arrives at the labyrinth's location and gets inside, but then finds a group of people who had followed him inside, intending to kill him to take all the rewards for themselves. They all introduce themselves to Jinhyuk, and he sees that the girl with the name Park Hana has commune skills, so he checks the copy condition, which is that he must stay with her for 240 hours. However, after 240 hours, there must be no one nearby him and Park Hana. Jinhyuk then tells them the labyrinth will change at fixed intervals, and suddenly the terrain of the labyrinth changes, killing some group members in the process. The group members accused him, and when one tried to attack him, suddenly a massive minotaur monster appeared and attacked them. The group members began running, but Jinhyuk went toward the monster and started dodging, while the system display showed he had obtained the hidden stat rift. If you want part 2, destroy the like button and subscribe, so you don't miss it.